Do it. Do it! Come on, kill me! I'm here! Come on! Do it now! Kill me!
Schwartzy, the podcast. It's a Schwartzy show.
As a new segment on this, we're going to be doing rock, paper, scissors for the comfy chair for when we're recording. So I'm currently sitting in the comfy chair, but we're going to rock, paper, scissors, not watch your mic.
I just got so excited.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh shit! Fuck. I got you.
Okay,
oh my god! Wow, that was really good.
Let's do it at 3.
No,
let's do it at 3. Come on. Let's do it at 3. Come on.
That's not a part of the rules.
Fuck. Okay, fine.
That's not a part of the rules. We're doing it once, and that was kind of best 2 out of 3 because we fucking kept doing scissors, and we kept being like, "Who's gonna break and do rock?"
Fuck, okay,
and then I switched it up.
Okay, fine.
And it was some major psychological warfare.
It's fine. Okay, so today's Schwartzy podcast is Conan the Destroyer.
Conan the Destroyer. Yes, and I'm Milenko.
And I'm Aleks.
Nice to meet you.
I just want to issue 2 corrections.
Oh, yes.
One is I was wrong. What's his name? Akiro wasn't Master Splinter.
You will listen now.
And I was right about Milius. Milius gaslighting me.
I'm sorry that I gaslit you.
Are you being gaslighted?
I totally acknowledge that I gaslit you, and I was very wrong about that.
Wrong.
Oh my god, I was really embarrassed about that actually.
Because I was like, oh yeah, he's my brother. He's not gonna lie to me.
Well, yeah, I wasn't lying. Like I thought that was the case, but I just was very wrong. I fully thought that was the case. So that's thank you for issuing those corrections. I watched this movie on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Did you watch it on Blu-ray?
I literally just came from watching it.
On Blu-ray?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I downloaded the highest version on Blu-ray. Why?
Well, I'm asking, okay, because I forgot how you gotta like go through like fucking like trailers now and stuff. It takes really long. It's like, oh man, I wish I could just like press the thing and have this on right now. Like I don't care what movie was coming out in 2000, like
whenever like, the Blu-ray came out.
I'm so 2008.
Exactly. But I actually did care about what movie was going. Anyway, I was recording before this. I wanted to get a sample of how did you guess?
How did you guess?
Because I can't find it online. I take all our samples from YouTube, and I couldn't find this on YouTube, so I was like, I'm gonna record it on my phone and use it.
Yeah, because we have the movies.
Yeah, we have the movies. But I was like fucking sifting through. What was that trailer for that? What's that movie where that guy, Michael Fassbender, is like fights a woman and they're spies?
Oh, Haywire.
The trailer for that was on, and that was kind of cool.
That's a great movie.
Yeah. But anyway, so Conan the Destroyer, I've got to say, in the preview menu of this movie, like the Conan the Destroyer, they get some cuts of a more confident looking Schwartzy.
Yes, and a way bronzer, way sweatier, way like the wig isn't as good. It's like clearly like a much more budget movie.
Oh my god.
And it's a bit of a bummer.
Very clearly a much more budget movie. So the director is Richard Fleischer. I guess Milius did not come back for a second run. I thought
I'm sorry, Milenus didn't come back for a second run.
Oh yes, I know. I cringe at
who directed the movie? John Milenus?
John Milenus directed the movie.
John Milenus directed it.
Yeah.
Hello there, I'm John Oliver.
We're just gonna keep calling him Milenus from now on.
So I looked up the guy because speaking of Master Splinter, the correction that you issued, which is a way less high stakes thing than getting the director's name wrong. I looked this guy up. The guy who played the wizard. He was a wizard in the first one. He didn't have a name in the first one. I looked that up too.
Yeah.
And in this movie, he has a name.
Yeah.
His name is Akiro. But his name in real life is a way cooler name. It's
Mako.
Or is it? I thought it was Mako. I thought
I don't know. I don't
Mako. So he's like, or I was gonna say eponymous, or he's mononymous, which means one name, like Cher or Bjork. This guy's really cool. He deserves a single name.
Yeah.
Even though he was pretty terrible in this movie, I gotta say. But okay, let's go through the plot here. So we start with Conan. Basically, he gets asked by this queen to help her niece retrieve this horn that will bring a god back to life, who is the god that they worship. And they want to just worship the god and you know, kill Schwarzenegger, and that's it. Like, and then also sacrifice the niece. So that's like the very broad strokes of this movie. Yeah. And it's about as dumb as it sounds. But the opening credits of this movie have a shot of my favorite character in this movie, Bombatta.
Yeah,
I fucking love this dude.
He's amazing. He's like gigantic.
He's just such a gigantic, and he's such a big presence too. Like he's like a really cool guy. Cool. And so at the 2:56 mark, we first see like a close up of Schwartzy's package. You know, and then it like glides up to his face, and we're like, here he is.
God, am I really gonna like look up the timestamp of every time I mention the dude's name?
No, not mention the dude's name. Every time his face is in it, or his
ridiculous.
package. And he's regal and muscular, and he's in like an amphitheater of like rocks. Like, what is this place?
I don't know. The implication is that he's praying, but like the thing that
this is why I like talking to you about this, because I didn't get prayer from that at all.
No, because she also says like you were praying,
right?
Remember?
Right. She does fully say that.
The thing that I thought was really cool about this scene was actually when she tempts him with the notion of if you do this for me, if you get the princess to grab the horn for me, I will give you Valeria back.
Yeah.
And that's like, it really like made me feel emotional. I was like, holy shit, this is like cool. Like,
I 100%
it felt
agree
really
with
interesting.
You. I did feel that, but is that this movie?
No, it's
feeling the weight of from recently watching the last movie?
It's fully recently watching because immediately after that, the movie sets up being so much wackier.
It's so much wackier.
And it's so much and that's the only way to describe it. It's like jokes are being made.
Oh,
and
dude.
it's like he's like making quips in a way that like it's like
this movie's so zany.
Yeah,
like
Conan would never do this. It just doesn't feel like it feels fully more like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that's like post this and like set in a dystopian world, or set in the real world, or set in an action movie world, as opposed to what's it called? You know, this. I don't know. What would you describe this Middle Earthy kind of?
Yeah, sure, Middle Earth. Yeah, but let's discuss one of the ways in which this movie is wackier and zanier than the first one. The sidekick, first and foremost,
Tracy Walter,
Malak.
Yeah, the crazy thing is that when I Grace Jones and Tracy Walter as like side characters in a movie. Amazing.
Wait,
amazing.
So who's this guy? Who's Tracy Walter?
Tracy Walter is Bob the Goon from Batman.
Oh, that
You're
guy.
my number one,
that
and
guy.
You are my number one guy.
Of course.
Speaking of, can I just tangent for a second?
Sure, of course.
Oh yeah, thirsty for more.
That's Tata's favorite line in Batman.
You are my number one.
You are my number one, and I. Okay, so Tata.
I bought the Tata towel and it arrived yesterday on my birthday.
Something that I was thinking about watching the movie is that the first one doesn't make the title
Batman?
No. Hold on. The first Conan movie doesn't make the title Conan the Bullshitter. this movie makes Conan the bullshitter.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because this movie is so much more fresh in my mind than I don't mean that because I watched the movie. I mean that because
me too. I knew this movie better than the first one.
I remember
the horn.
The horn.
The
horn.
But
wait. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm just wanting to connect this to Tata.
I bought the Tata towel and
Because the fact is that he's been saying Conan the bullshitter our entire lives.
He has been saying Conan the bullshitter our entire lives.
For other things,
dude,
too.
I have a major surprise for you at the end of this episode, okay? Like, I have a major bombshell to drop on you, and I can't wait, but I'm going to save it until the end, okay?
I think I know what it is.
All right.
I think I know what it is.
I hope you do, and if it is the same, how did you guess?
How did you guess?
The funny thing is, it's not the same. We'll see. We'll see what it is. We'll see what it is.
All right. So, you know, we don't have Nietzsche at the beginning of this movie, and just like we don't
this
have,
movie's so much dumber than
just like we don't have Nietzsche, we don't have Subotai, who was such an amazing character. It's such a bummer that we have Malak instead, who has some, like, I don't know, like, they're trying to make him funny. I just, you know, like, is he funny? Is he?
This is the thing about the character in general. The thing that's interesting about not having Subotai anymore is that a lot of the things in the movie seem to play off as, like, not just wacky, not just like trying to be funny, but like also in a weird way, like trying to like insert these things that are stereotypically Arnold Schwarzenegger, but like function way better in the other movie. Right. The kind of charm, like in the first one, he's kind of just a bad person. But like the weird thing is that like he comes off as so much friendlier in this one, but at the same time, like the structure of it doesn't work because he himself as a character has been established already as just kind of like a killer, a murderer, a thief.
But so the queen is like, yeah, I want to bring back Valeria. I want to, like, you know, give you back your person if you do this thing for me. And then they go back to her castle. And this is where you really notice that the production quality has dropped the fuck down, because everything looks so much crappier.
It does. Like, the thing is, what I noticed is that the matte paintings were still cool. The matte, like when you see like something drawn like on a hill or whatever, that still looked good.
Yeah,
but then like they get into the like actual castles itself, and it looks like
so budget,
like
so
not
budget.
just budget, but like budget in a way where, you know how Superman, the first Superman, 70s Superman looked, and it like looks kind of crappy, but that was high budget. Like it just seemed like decades behind that even, and it was just like, oh man, this is terrible.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Like it was like very visibly. It was weird. Did you notice that in the 80s and 90s? A discrepancy in quality of like filmmaking wasn't really questioned by people. Like they were just kind of like, you know, like there was obviously like other stuff that was made even before that looked way better. Blade Runner, like was that
Blade Runner was 82.
Looked same, or it was before that, and it looked way better. But somehow people were like, oh yeah, like. You know, they were just like used to a crappier thing.
Can I tell you something? What? I think we were just used to a crappier, because you know when kids watch something and they're just like, they just have like naive notion. It's like we were reading like what's it called, reviews from that era where it was just like, I'm sure if we dived a little deeper into it, we would have been like seeing like, oh, the production value isn't as good or whatever. But like, yeah, as kids we were just like, oh yeah, Conan. And like, I'm sure, dude, if we were kids and watched Conan the Destroyer, we would have been like, oh, this one's so much better than the original. So much less boring than the original.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to something that I was going to ask you before, but why did the queen, like when she came to Schwartzy, like she just ambushed him? Why didn't she just like immediately proposition him? Because she had a really good proposition that he immediately agrees to, but he kills like five or six people at least.
Yeah.
Her guards, like these are valuable people to her.
Yeah. Also, are we meant to assume that Tracy Walter's character is like some sort of slave to him? Just because, like, why is he there, like, praying with him?
Well,
are they just like good buddies?
He's supposed to be the Subutai surrogate, but you don't get the same relationship.
No,
Like,
I know why.
I don't think they like each other.
I know why the like production did that. I just feel like what is his relation? Because at least you're set up for the relationship with Subutai. I even know Subutai's name.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they mentioned what's his name again?
Malak.
Malak.
Yeah,
they mentioned Malak's name like halfway through the movie.
That's true.
Like,
they do that a lot with all of the characters.
I'm actually down with that, because why would any character to like relate to each other in a way where it's like, hey, Malak, how's it going?
Okay,
you know,
dude, I want to talk to you about the scene when they're going through the town. So they arrive at this town. And I guess everyone's really stoked to see Schwartzy. Like, everyone's like, yeah, did you notice that?
Well,
like,
it seems like the implication is that it's the same town that he released from the first one, because he looks at the camel that he punched in the first one and is like, I have to say I'm sorry. And then the camel spits on him.
No, this camel fucking jizzes on him. Like, why was that so thick and creamy?
So slobbery.
It's as satisfying to me as coming is.
But the camel spits on him again, reinforcing that we're in this new world of wackiness for this character. And I'm like,
and the camel,
what the fuck is this?
Buckles the fuck over. I was like, whoa.
Fully punches the camel again.
Again, is this real? It looked so real.
It was real, for sure.
Do you think the handler was like, oh yeah, and if you hit it really hard, it'll like buckle over? Really? The DP's like, yeah, I want to see its legs flip up. Like, do you think they had that discussion?
I don't know, dude. Like, it was insane, because it was like, man, like, are you seriously just gonna hit this animal? This is okay with you guys?
So is the movie asking us to pretend that Malak is Subutai and was Subutai all along? Or are we just meant to believe that, oh, it's just a new guy and Subutai's gone somewhere?
No, it's
a different guy. Okay.
Like, they gave him a name.
Okay. So after the camel bukakis him, we go into, I mean, sorry, that looked so real.
What, the bukkake? I'm sorry, that jizz looked so real.
That jizz looked so real. Oh no, it's like, oh man, if your jizz was that like dry, it'd be like, are you okay? Okay, so we the background is a matte painting in this stupid temple. I hated this temple. I hated the production value. We see the cane of the like wizard guy. Remember the wizard guy? You see his
weird,
cane, it's like a skull, but like a crappy skull.
It looks like a plastic toy that you get.
Dude, all of the exposition in this movie is at the very beginning. They basically tell you what the movie's going to be in the beginning, and then the movie happens, and it's the exact thing that they say is going to happens, except at and Schwartzy like saves the day. But basically the queen is like, hey, I have this niece. Her name's Jehnna. She is the only person in the world that can touch this diamond. I've got to get this key from this wizard so that I can unlock this key and make this horn, and then just come back, and that's it. Ha ha ha. And Schwartzy's like, sure, just bring back Valerian. And he's like, no problem, you got this. And then we hear the scream of Jehnna, who's in the other room, and she's awakening from a bad dream. Why is she sleeping? Like, it's the middle of the fucking day.
I don't know.
Why is Jehnna sleeping? It's weird. And Bombatta is comforting her in a really, like, he's like rubbing her shoulders really hard. And I was like,
it seemed like he wanted to fuck her in every scene, dude.
I want to talk about their relationship. It's so weird.
His relationship with all Bombatta, like, I don't know. He's just outrageous.
They have this conversation, Bombatta and the queen have this secret side conversation where she's like, so when you get the key, like, kill him, obviously.
Kill him now.
And he's like, I don't think we need him at all. Like, why should, and she's like, no. You're not a thief. you keep the princess safe and keep her virginity intact because she's got to be a virgin when they sacrifice her to that god. So that's like a big bombshell. They're like, not only are we going to kill Schwartzy, but we're going to kill this princess too.
Well, there was two things that I wanted to mention about this scene in particular. One, the movie at this point comes off just as a porno parody to Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And the second thing is that
Bombatta is so porno.
Yeah, it's also porno.
He's so 70s porno.
He's so 70s. But also the plot is already way more complicated.
Right.
Like it's like, oh, you have to meet several new characters that you like haven't interacted with before. They lay this plot on you of like getting the key, and then all of a sudden you get this like immediate side plot of like, oh yeah, and kill him when like it's already like a few plates being spun that like the first one is like a very lean, despite being like almost half an hour longer than this one, and somehow feels much tighter. You're so
right. You're so right.
But also, like, by the way, the thing about misogyny in the other one is like totally legit. Like, it's a totally legit sort of, I would say, accurate view, but I would say it's accurate to the view of the world. This movie feels way more misogynistic.
Really?
Because okay, wait, hold on. Let me explain.
Yeah, sure.
The first woman that comes in wants to kill Arnold. Yeah. And the second woman that comes in wants to fuck Arnold.
That's true.
That's the only thing designed for these movies. Whereas
the third woman that comes in wants to be totally loyal to Arnold.
Yes, but like that feels when Grace Jones is introduced. I feel like that feels like legitimate because
she was so cool.
She's introduced in the best fucking way.
That's true.
When they come in, they leave for their adventure from the Queen.
Yes,
and they go into this town where the audience is introduced to Grace Jones.
Man,
and Grace Jones is tied up fighting people, and Princess Jehnna stops Arnold and tells him to fucking help Grace Jones.
Yeah.
And what he does to help her is so fucking cool. He just fucking cuts the chain and gets her to fucking fight her own battle. And it's fucking badass. Well, she's introduced as such an outrageous character, dude. But she fits in the world
for sure.
Whereas I feel like Tracy Walter doesn't really fit in. None of the other people fit.
Stop calling him. Call him Malak. His name is Malak.
Who cares?
Well, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know.
Tracy Walter is fucking Malak. Tracy Walter.
Well, I don't know who Tracy Walter is.
Tell me his name.
I'm gonna forget.
In the movie.
I'm gonna forget who Tracy Wallach is. I don't even know who it was. Did I say it right?
Oh God, just continue.
Okay.
I also like her hair and her outfit.
Grace Jones?
Yeah. I like her hair and this weird like red stripe that it seems so cool. Like she just was like,
she's a tail.
I'm gonna have this weird stripe. No, I thought it was a tail at first too. It's a loincloth. It was outrageous because at one scene when they're in water, she like shakes her ass.
I wanted to talk. There's music. There's a music cue that's like
so outrageous. Oh, and when she escapes from the people that were like holding her captive, and she like gets on the horse and then spits at them, that was such an outrageous scene.
That was really fucking cool. I love.
Oh, and like wait, but when she leaves, that she spits, and the take is just on her, and she rides away, and she screams once, and then screams again, and then screams even louder and more outrageously. Yeah. It was so good. I loved it.
I loved it too. You're missing a key scene here because we get introduced back to
Akiro.
I hated this scene because they're in a forest and the princess is like, what are we gonna do now? It's so weird and wooden, and he's like, we have to go this direction, and it's like, why? Some savage. First of all, why? Second of all, he happens upon savages in quotations who just happen to be killing
Akiro
in the process of killing
his wizard friend. Like, it just made no sense.
It
made no sense. And again, upping the fucking wacky quality where it's just like they're burning him alive like a cartoon. Like they're gonna cook him over they're not gonna
fire
slaughter him
stick.
or anything.
Yeah,
they're gonna fucking. It was outrageous.
And they were like caricatures. They had like bones in their noses and stuff. It was outrageous.
I also, in quotation marks, put savages.
Well, because that's what they say. They're like, they're savages. This movie's bad. So in the next scene, we see the one-eyed guy, and I was like, this was cool because they brought up his name, the wizard Toth Amon, but they never talk about him after that. And we just, I guess this is the wizard because they never say anything. And they show up at this castle, which is diamonds basically in water. And oh my God, dude, I love this so much. This was one of the coolest things in this movie. So Toth Amon steps out and he's going to go, like, he senses that the princess is there because he was looking in a crystal ball, literally a crystal ball. And then he jumps off of the ledge of his thing as if he's going to dive and turns into a fucking dragon.
The magic dragon.
Yeah, like a weird cartoon not a cartoon dragon, but like almost like a dragon that's like a smoke dragon, which is really cool.
And he's described as smoke.
It looked really cool, but also like is just another sort of like bizarre tangent that the movie takes that just doesn't seem like it fits with like the plot of the movie. Like, it's cool, it looks good. And it just seems like at that point you're just like, oh, like I can tell where a lot of the money goes in this movie. Like, it's like that's how good it looked. Because but the unevenness of how it looked in the movie, where it's just like, oh man, this one scene is really cool looking and this other scene is so shitty and terrible.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that because like there are parts of this movie that, you know, make me excited, like that I'm rooting for it, you know? So like it felt good watching it, but at the same time, like you're just like, oh, like I can't give this movie the same credit that I gave the first one.
Yeah.
This cartoon dragon picks up Jen in the middle of the night and then she's like taken away. They discover it in the morning and they're like, what the fuck? But like, I really hated the inconsistency of Akiro's wizard powers. Like, he could tell certain things but couldn't do other things. And then he could like, remember later in the movie, he has a fight of like wizard powers with the other wizard.
Yeah.
But like he couldn't even open a door.
Yeah.
Like,
it just makes no sense. It's so randomly inconsistent.
Oh, I fucking also hated how Malak was like kept wanting to like be like, I don't want to do this, guys. It's like, all right, it's like it gets old. It's like you suck. You're not Subutai.
Well, this was also the point in the movie where I felt like in the first one we would really like watch Conan, all the characters, Subutai, Valeria, all of them, we would watch them do things and watch them figure things out.
Yeah.
And like through that process, we would get to know them as characters and them as whether or not like they were feeling something, whether or not they were expressing something, or whether or not they were just like out and about learning about each other and like again, doing things together, as opposed to here where, like you said before, where there was this like sort of stiltedness and awkwardness of like having to explain what's going to happen next and then doing what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
It just felt like,
that's true.
I don't need this. I don't need any of this. Like, it just felt like expository.
That's one of the things. Yeah, you're right. I really felt like you brought up how much the first movie pays attention to detail, and like these cues that are like, you know, oh, we're really giving the audience the benefit of the doubt and, you know, like setting stuff up so that we can pay it off later. And then this movie is just like, hey, I'm going to set up a thing so that it can happen. And then you can see that thing happen and it plays out
immediately later, like immediately after they say it's going to happen. And it's like, as they enter this, the castle of the one-eyed like wizard
Toth Amon,
who's kidnapped the princess at this point, they enter into this weird like cavern cave thing that's made of ice. The implication is that it's made of ice, and they show it by clearly the actors have smoke in their mouths, and as they're talking, they're breathing out this smoke to reference as though the breath of is condensed.
But then it doesn't happen again later at all.
And Schwartzy enters into this room, which I really liked.
A room of mirrors?
Yeah, a room of mirrors. But it's not mirrors. Oh, it's not mirrors yet. First, he goes through a mirror, and then it's over the mirrors, there's draped curtains that lift up, revealing the mirrors. In the mirrors are these like hooded people.
I hated those hoods. They looked so budget.
Dude, I thought it was cool visual. Like, I mean, I liked it because it reminded me of Jodorowsky. It reminded me of like things from like 1970s, like weird sort of acid trip movies in the 70s, and then they come out of the mirrors and form into one person. That shit was cool.
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. And his face looks like the guy, hey, you guys. Hey, you guys.
Oh, doesn't he look
Goonies? Like, he looks like a Goonies face, but grayer.
That was bad. That looked bad.
The makeup was terrible. Terrible. I thought there was a really stupid moment here where Schwartzy like puts the sword through the glass and the monster clearly gets hurt, but he doesn't realize it yet, and he keeps fighting it, and then he accidentally again hits it and then realizes it.
Yeah.
I feel like there was like a really slow moment for Schwartzy in this.
Yeah.
In a way that, I don't know, I didn't like this.
Yeah, it just feels like it would have been more dramatic if he smashed into a mirror, saw the monster get hurt, and then just immediately started smashing the mirrors, as opposed to how it plays out, which is like, this guy's just dumb.
Yeah.
Like, it makes it like the choices that the movie makes him as a character out to be dumb.
And
it's like he is sort of dumb in the first one, but he's like sort of, I guess, like street smart or whatever the equivalent of like a magical world street smart would be. But like, I don't know, it's just a bummer. It just felt like out of character and out of place. So many things felt out of place.
Like when Schwartzy gets crappily spinned by the monster.
Like, it's weird.
And you can see it's like wires and
but it's not even just that. It's like it plays out like a WWE. Like he's getting like suplexed. And like it's like so bizarre. It's so bad.
Oh my god.
The fight choreography is terrible in this movie. It's so terrible.
So, remember when they want to look at, like, there's a
moment where the guy in the red robe was covered, and then Grace Jones pull it off, and it's just mirrors underneath, smashed mirrors. But you know what? I thought it was cool. But
it wasn't enough. I feel like that's not enough mirrors to be that body.
The guy was gigantic, and it feels like it was just like crappily laid down, where it's like, what are we gonna do?
Dude, Bombatta is literally like 7 feet tall. Like, you see it for the first time in this next scene when she's like, Bombatta! And then they come in and she gets the key, and then because she took the key, is that
where the key? Oh yeah.
The castle starts falling apart.
Yeah, you're right. And the key is like this diamond.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of diamonds.
Yeah.
Why did they set up Malak? I will say Malak. I won't fucking say Tracy Walter. But why did Malak keep swallowing diamonds in the movie?
Because he's gonna like save it in his stomach and shit it out later.
But
that's
like, dude, like it just seems like that would fucking cut up your organs. It just seems like, imagine shitting out a diamond, dude. Like,
oh my god, that'd be amazing. In this next scene, they get ambushed by the Queen's guards. And I thought it was cool. They kind of subtly show Bombatta trying to stay like out of it.
That was cool.
Because he's like letting it happen a little. And then I found this weird. So the goal was they're going to get the key and then they're going to kill Schwartzy. And then like, because they don't need him anymore.
Yeah.
But they like take care of everyone because he's got this whole crew with him. Do you think that's why Bombatta was reluctant that everyone kept joining? That they kept joining this crew? Because they start alone.
Oh,
remember?
like you mean,
and then he
like when Grace Jones like starts with them, he's like
he's
really, really like, no, we don't need that. That's true. I actually never thought of it that way.
So maybe they were like kind of subtle in that way.
That's okay. I mean, yeah, like I mean, even unsubtle movies can have moments of subtlety.
That's true. Oh, dude, I have this huge pimple on my neck. It really hurts. I can't think about anything else right now. No, it's like one of those underneath. Like really. Well, yeah, it's one of those underneath like subcutaneous. It hurts a lot. It's really swollen. That sucks, dude. It's gross. It just happened too. I was like, what the fuck? So there's some pretty sweet muscle action in this next scene when they're like fighting with each other. I like Schwartzy just kind of like poses a couple of times. I was like,
it sounds like you really have a little crush on Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Shut up.
Oh yeah. He also like he's a little more awkward in this. Like he's not as graceful. Did you notice?
True. I did notice that. Do you think there was like a reason for that?
I don't know.
Just
like
not
it just
shot
seemed
as
like,
well.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is just not shot as well.
Because you got to get that large, man to be graceful,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's funny. It's interesting that they got him. Like I just felt
it looked super majestic in the first one.
It looked super majestic in the first one, but I felt like I just felt like all of the choreography felt a little off.
It felt off for sure. So Bombatta takes his only chance to like come at Schwartzy, and then he's like, "Oh, I thought he was gonna kill the girl." He kind of like plays it off, and I thought Schwartzy discovered what was going on here, but he doesn't, because he doesnn't like realize that Bombatta's like a bad guy yet.
Like, oh, double crossing.
Yeah, he didn't understand that was happening, and then he's like drunk in the next scene, which they don't establish at all.
Never established. It was so weird when I saw it. I was like, "Wait, why is he like this?" And like I could kind of assume from the first one how they kept like drinking and eating.
Yeah, that's true. I guess.
Like it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in like an organic way.
That's
in
true.
this scene. Also, fucking Malak is trying to finger bang like.
Oh my
Grace
god,
Jones.
that was so gross.
But it's like it was like awkward and weird in a way, in like such a 1980s
well, that's how sexual assault did happen back then. It was like
movie sexual assault.
Well, probably in real life,
probably
too. Because that's like they're just writing what they know, so they're probably just like, yeah, remember that time I tried to finger bang that girl and she was like, "Fuck off," and I was like, "Oh, whatever." That's like exactly what happens.
That's pretty much but it did have this scene did have my favorite line in it, which was, "I suppose nothing hurts you, only pain." And he's just like, but he's so like weirdly casual about it, and it's like such a bizarre line.
I suppose nothing hurts you.
Only pain.
Yeah, he actually has a very sweet, tender moment in this where a thirsty niece, Jehnna, is trying to find out what makes the Schwartzy D tick, and she's like, "Do you like strong women?" And he's like, "Yeah, like Zula." It was kind of like a sweet description. He's like, a warrior. He was like very like proud.
Yeah, and she was ashamed that she wasn't a warrior.
Yeah, he like warrior shames her for sure.
Yeah, but like it's just like a type.
And then it has this like a scene where he's like, "Let me show you," and he's like showing her how to be a warrior, and like
that was weird. That was weird because she like Zula first tries to show like her how to be a warrior, and then he's like, "No, let me show it." It's like that was like really bizarre. It just seems it seems like in the first one he would have just been like, "Yeah, show her."
Oh man. So
just two different types of misogyny.
In the next scene, they're on horseback. Jehnna continues the line of questioning of she really like wants Schwartzy, and she's like,
"Yeah,
what do I do to get a man?" And Zula's like, "You take him and you grab him,
And take him.
And it's like, what?
But I know what she meant. It's like you take him. You like it's like he's yours, right?
Yeah.
That's the implication.
There's a lot. You got to read in a lot.
Something that you don't have to fucking read into is in this scene. I was like, whoa, dude. How old is this girl? Like, she looked like in this scene, I finally noticed, I was like, whoa, dude, this girl looks like 15. And like within the world, like, I'm like, I guess okay with that. But like in real life, I was like, Jesus, like this girl is literally like 14, 15.
She looked like it. You know who she looked exactly like to me? Anne from
Egg, yes,
Egg,
totally.
From Arrested Development.
Arrested Development.
I made the exact, like, immediately that popped into my head where I was like, holy shit, she looks like Egg.
Yeah. It's weird that they make fun of her so much in the show. It's like she's very clearly a very pretty girl. It's like,
I mean, I think part of that is the joke.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. Malak has a scene where he kind of like tries to describe like she's like going to these like, why is she going to these weird people for advice? I guess she's never seen anyone in her life. I guess
so, yeah.
Like, is that what we're led to believe? Oh, because remember she was like, in the beginning, I wanted to talk to you about this scene. This is why I want to go by my notes. I wanted to talk to you about this scene.
But I have notes too.
Okay, you're right.
Like,
I'm totally notes shaming
like,
you.
We can't like sporadically, like we can talk about it in different, we've seen the movie.
Dude, I wanted to talk to you about this scene because in the beginning, she's also, when we first encounter Thirsty Jehnna, she's like, Thirsty Jenna's talking to Bombatta and she's like, oh, do you think he's handsome? Like, she's asking him all these questions. And then she's like, I've never seen a real man, which is totally throwing shade at Bombatta.
Totally.
And like, let's be real. Bombatta, I think, is way more attractive than Schwartzy.
Really?
I think he's way more attractive than Schwartzy.
I don't think so.
Like a ruggedness.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I think that it's like one of those things that I feel like, given the fact that Schwartzy is I guess supposed to be the like lead, but also he's just like giant. He's just fucking giant.
Well, because Schwartzy's like 6 foot
at most.
At most, you're right. They lied and said he was 6'2" for years, and it was like, and did he do the lifts like Tom Cruise?
I don't know. He's like tall
who
enough.
cares?
He's
man?
probably just on an apple
like,
box.
But like, who cares? Like, why would they just?
Not Tom Cruise, dude.
Why did Schwartzy care so much? Schwartzy cares so much.
But that was the 80s.
So what was it like? If you're bad if you're not a big height.
Yeah.
But like, people are gonna see you and know that you're not 6'2".
But that's like I said, that's what I love about Tom Cruise. Now he just doesn't care because he just does all his own stunts.
Well, yeah, like people, yeah. I guess I don't know. I guess it meant something at the time. And so they get to what happens? They get to this scene that they at this like under rock enclosure place.
Yeah, they get to another cave where that's where like the horn is. And this was my most irritating scene because fucking Grace Jones sees a rat and she like gets scared. And then they all turn around and it's supposed to be like a laugh line. I don't know. This like the dumbness of...
Oh, dude, the jokes fall so far.
They fall so flat.
It's so weird. Like they sometimes they do a thing in the movie and they do like a joke beat where they're like, here's the joke. Like they show it in the cutting and you're like, whoa, like somebody thought this was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, there's some really cringy parts. And that was definitely one of them.
This is the scene where they get to they want to put in the diamond.
Malak swallows some more pearls in this.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I wrote that down too, where it was just like he swallows another diamond. It's like this guy's just gonna shit a bunch of diamonds out. Just take a bloody stool, be like, oh my god, amazing. This is like covered in blood and guts. I'm gonna sell these. And he brings it to a vendor. It's like, what happened? What did you do? Nobody was gonna take it from him.
It's just poo.
This is just like shit and blood.
Oh my god! Sorry, I'm crying. Oh yeah.
And of course, that dude's shit blood before, like not having eaten diamonds. So it's just not.
Oh my god, it's so true. Schwartzy says crumb in this scene, and I love it when Schwartzy says crumb.
Me too.
Crumb. There's this toad face that like lines up with some flames. It's like a big toad that's like an entrance to where this like where you're supposed to put the key, I guess.
Yeah.
I hated everything about this scene. Yeah. I hated
except
everything.
For when she goes into the toad's mouth and it's like engulfed in flames. That was cool.
That was cool.
That looked good. But like the rest of it is just kind of like, I don't know, a little boring, a little like it's basically the same thing happens in the movie over and over again. It's
and
like,
then, dude,
oh,
they restate. I know why they did this, but they restate a plot point with Akiro being like, looking at the wall and being like, oh, I read this scroll and she, is going to release evil onto the world. It's like, dude, like, we know this shit. Like, we already established this shit. Like, I mean, I guess it ups the stakes a little bit. I don't know. It was so annoying.
Yeah.
I was really irritated by this. As they're exiting with the key, a bunch of guards are kind of like friendly to them, and they're like, we just want to hang out. And then they're like, no, we're going to go. And they're like, no, we're actually bad guys.
Did the guys who come after they've like gotten the key.
Yeah, they're keepers of this horn.
Yeah.
And so they're a part of the cult. And I guess they want to ensure, do they want to ensure that the horn stays away from the god or gets to the god?
Yeah, like it just didn't make any sense.
I didn't understand.
It was like, are they there?
Why are you
to
fighting
help?
them?
Yeah, are you there to help them on their journey? Because like the guards are already bad guys for them already. Like it just like, I don't know.
I didn't understand this at all. And they like run back into the frog's mouth. Akiro has a fight with this other wizard. They have a wizard fight. They wizard off. And it's
where the one wizard is trying to open the door, which is the mouth of the frog. And Akiro is closing the mouth, and they're like fighting each other with their wizard powers. Yeah. It just feels like a bummer. It was just like, this is boring and bad.
But as they're escaping, I got really excited by this next scene because finally finally Bombatta kind of reveals his true self and sabotages like the whole gang.
Yeah.
So he stabs the cave and makes it cave in, and our heroes are stuck. And Bombatta escapes with the princess, and he's like, they're coming, don't worry about it. And then they leave.
Yeah.
So Bombatta's a bad dude.
One thing that I wanted to bring up actually was when they finally get the horn, and Schwartzy's like trying to distract some of the guards, and he like throws a rock where some of the guards are, and like they look over where the rock was thrown, and what's his name, Malak and Zula like cartoonishly walk in, and then Arnold, spread armed, just goes ha, and like the guards look at him, and then Zula and Malak fight them. It's like so random.
That's really weird. I don't remember that scene very well.
It's outrageous. Funny. Yeah, Malak sucks.
I hate him so much.
Yeah, but he's awesome in other movies.
Dude, I know. I love that actor.
Tracy Walter, you mean?
Yeah. Yes, I love Tracy Walter. So Schwartzy and his crew get out of the cave, and they decide to stop Taramis' plan from coming to fruition. They don't want this virgin to be sacrificed. And Jehnna and Bombatta arrive pretty fast. Like, how fast were they going? Like, how did they just get there?
Yeah.
It seemed like they traveled for like seasons again.
Yeah.
They didn't have as many montages in this movie, which is why I think it didn't do as well. And like, why did they have voiceover at the beginning if they weren't gonna? I don't know. It just like fails so much. The voiceover wasn't as good. I did not mention that earlier. Taramis puts a roofie in the chalice with the fruit punch. It was a fruit punch. Did you notice that it was like basically it was that color? Is it supposed to be wine? What is that?
I don't know. Does it matter?
So she like basically roofies what's her face, Jehnna, and but like she drinks it anyway. Like she's kind of like skeptical. She's like a little weirded out, but then she's like, all right, I'll do this. I don't know. It's so weird. It's just like she seems like she just goes along with everything. Jehnna didn't question anything in this movie. She had zero autonomy.
No, she wasn't. Yeah, she had no agency in the movie. And like, I don't know. Like the why did Schwartzy care? Why did he care? Like ultimately, like she's not set up as a love interest, because he's still like gonna be he's gonna go to Valhalla to see Valeria. Right.
So he's like, yeah.
So it's like, but it doesn't even seem like he's like mad and trying to get revenge on the queen. Like he doesn't even, it doesn't seem like it's a personal vendetta like it was in the first one.
Yeah.
Whereas like the first one is the pivot from like the plot of him growing up into, oh, this is the guy who killed my village. And this is like, has the same sort of pivot, but it's way later in the movie. And it's just like, oh, like she promised me something and I'm, not going to get it. But again, that doesn't even seem like it comes, it's not even explained. It's just like, no, we're going to go back because they're going to kill this virgin. It's like, who gives a shit? Like,
yeah, there was like no stakes really. Yeah. Like,
it just didn't feel like.
I mean, like, we just also knew the whole plot, the whole movie. Like, we knew...
Yeah, there was no reveal.
Yeah. Like, we just knew that everything was going to happen. So we were like, all right, we're just seeing the thing happen that we were told was going to happen.
And while that does happen in the first one, you sort of know what's going to happen. You do get that reveal where he's just like a snake man. And he's got like a cult. And it's like, so cool. Whoa, dude, what?
Okay, so speaking of Snake Man, another puppet happens.
It's a puppet!
When they put the horn on, this was cool.
This
and
was
it kind of
sexual
has that
too.
like a greasy body where it's like, I'm a puppet. You know, like how
totally.
it like
let's put Vaseline
weird
on everything because it needs
yeah.
to look greasy and shine off the lights.
For sure. Why did they do that? That was such a weird choice.
To make it look more of a world, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like a thing doesn't look plastic, right? It looks like it sweats and it looks like it shines off
right,
things.
So to give it realism, right? But it gives it that uncanny valley feel.
Yeah, totally. But the thing was, but to bring it back to the sexual thing, the way she puts that horn on looks like she's about to suck a dick.
Oh yeah.
Like fully puts the horn in and it's like they're waiting for the prophecy to happen, and this like weird sort of Roman-like sculpture turns into this greasy Cthulhu puppet. Which was cool.
It was cool. It was a cool puppet. Cool. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the budget definitely went on the puppet.
Yeah.
It's a puppet!
Yeah, and it's like body horror cool.
Yeah.
It looks like
so random. Well, he has like a very like a vaginal face.
Yeah.
Like just like opening up the like flaps.
It feels like that felt like of a Conan world, like an otherworldliness that I was like, oh, okay. If more of the movie felt like this, it would feel more Conan.
So as this god is kind of coming to life or whatever, Bombatta is trying to stop Schwartzy and the crew from like and there's a final.
And he bites my fucking ear off.
My fucking ear.
Oh my god, yeah,
dude,
that was.
Did you see? Like it looked like he
looked
fucking
real. It looked real.
No, but it looked like he bit his fucking ear off.
Yeah.
That would be amazing if if we got a Legend of Conan
without
and you just
ear?
see him and he's like doesn't have an ear but they would soft reboot it and not include,
and they would also give him a Skrillex haircut to accentuate the ear. Bombatta has this huge ass mallet that he starts swinging like a madman, and Schwartzy. It's intercut with scenes of the sky getting all angry and the wizard priest about to chop Jehnna's neck. And Zula comes in and throws a spear. And I hate how this spear flew. It's so like crappily, it doesn't look like the physics of it don't look right.
Well, the thing that you forgot is two things.
Okay.
One is that this is the third fucking wizard that we have.
Oh, that's
we
true.
have the crappy Cyclops one. We have Akiro, and we have this third one that like stops them.
Fourth one, dude, because you're forgetting the guard from the like team that was guarding the horn.
That's the wizard that's gonna kill her.
Oh, is that the same guy?
That's the same guy, yeah. That's the guy who's going to say... See, it doesn't even make any sense. It feels like it doesn't make any sense.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and also you're forgetting that this was cool. I thought this was awesome. Schwartzy, while he's fighting Bombatta, he tells Grace Jones to go save the princess. That was cool.
I like that this movie kept up the tradition of the first one, of the sidekicks actually doing like cool, helpful stuff, because they really, saved the day in both movies.
Totally. I thought that was cool. And then obviously Schwartzy comes in
Bombatta first smashes one of Taramis' nicest vases while trying to kill Schwartzy. And I do think that the killing of Bombatta is like
How do you stop him again?
I forget. No, I forget. I thought the movie really earned it, though. I think I wrote that down.
Eventually, when Schwartzy comes to obviously save the day or whatever, I thought when I was a kid, I remember him cutting the horn off, but he just fucking rips the horn out of the guy, and it's fucking gross. It's
my God,
gross,
it's so weird looking.
Because it's just like jizzing blood.
The satisfying to me as coming is.
His face looks kind of like the combination of Predator and The Fly.
It did have very much a combination of those two, but it felt like a Cthulhu monster. It felt like a what's it called? Like an H.P. Lovecraft. Ooh. Like a you know what Cthulhu looks like, right? He's got like a tentacle face or whatever.
Which movie do you think hated women more?
I thought the second one definitely hated women more.
You think so?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I fully thought that. Because they weren't people. They were like, Grace Jones could only do so much.
That's
screaming throughout the entire movie. But she was amazing. Like, the choreography was amazing.
And she definitely kills it in this movie. But
it's just like she wasn't given enough to do outside of like how she escaped. There was no time given to her as a whole character. And fucking Malak was so annoying. All of his lines were so annoying. I was like, God damn it. I need you to stop talking.
Dude, when Akiro says, the horn is the key, cut it off. And there were so many dick metaphors in this of like cutting the dick off.
So many dick metaphors, dude. I wrote that down.
Yeah. I wrote down body horror too, because this thing is really body horror. I like the mixing of genres that happened in the 80s where they were just like, let's just throw body horror into this. Because it was like, it doesn't set up that kind of body horror in any of the...
Like the first one is body horror in the way that like something is transforming into something else, but it's way not as true. like it's, the first one is violent too and gross, like in terms of like, you feel the impact of the violence. This was just like, why is like green juice coming out of things?
Yeah,
and, like,
that's true. Because like sometimes you noticed when like the body horror had a point and you just kind of felt it, and when it didn't have a point, you know?
Totally.
So the next scene literally is just Jehnna's queen.
Yeah.
She's just queen, and she's like the followers are just her followers. Like, aren't they like, hey, our god's dead?
Yeah.
Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, and not just that, but
they follow Crom.
No. They follow her or whatever. But it's also the ending from Star Wars as well. It's just like her being queen and then giving them medals. But instead of giving medals, she just tasks them to work for her.
Yeah, like she makes Malak the fool, Akiro the wizard, and
Grace Jones, Zula to be the head of her army.
And I hated this because it was like, I don't see why a woman would be any less than a man.
That's the thing.
Like,
that's what I mean.
Then why did you say it?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You could have just made her the guard and not said like, a woman can do this. Wink, wink.
And also, they all keep looking back at Schwartzy to get his blessing, and it's like, whoa, dude! Like, why do you have to
respect him more?
Yeah, it's like, why do you have to give them the blessing of Schwartzy to be like not with him anymore? It was just like, I don't know. I also, if Akiro and him are friends, like, why does Akiro need to be there? Why does the jester thing, fine, whatever. Like, she calls him a jester, and then he trips, and everybody laughs. I thought that was a fun little detail.
That was the only funny thing he did in the movie.
Yeah.
And lastly, Princess Thirsty wants the Conan D, and he's having none of it. He, like, does not want to be with her,
he wants to have his own kingdom.
With his own queen.
With his own queen. But also, like, the implication of the end of the first one was that he the first king that tasks him with his first mission gave him enough money to start his own kingdom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
like that's a full plot point in the end of the first movie where he like becomes king immediately after the end of the first movie.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense.
So we have a return of your favorite part from part 1 in this, where Schwartzy's old again.
Oh yeah,
which was great.
Yeah,
he didn't have a beard. He didn't have a beard this time, and he's still doing his like majestic pose with the fist in his face. And like, I don't know, he ruled a kingdom with a troubled brow. It was so like, I just didn't care about him at the end of this movie.
Can I just fucking give you something for how did you guess?
How did you guess?
This is the time for how did you guess?
Okay. What is your Can I tell you how do you want to do this? I want to tell you my how did you guess?
Please, yeah.
I want you to guess who in this movie is an Oscar nominee.
Oh, one of the actors?
One of the actors is an Oscar nominated actor.
Oh my God. I don't know that I'm going to be able to guess this.
I mean, there's only so many people you could guess, but...
let me ask for a hint here. Is it someone that's a main actor?
Yes.
One of them... Let me narrow it down. Is it one of the main crew?
Yes.
Is it Grace Jones?
Nope. It's Akiro, my dude.
Oh.
Mako is an Oscar-nominated actor. And what's great about...
That's really
what's
cool.
Great about
I looked him up and I didn't even...
What's great about what you were saying earlier in the podcast is that he's a terrible actor in this. And I got so excited.
Are you ready for my mind-blowing...
Now I'm thinking. Can I? I've written something down.
Please.
And I want you to like. I want you to see it after you tell me, just to see if I got it accurately.
Sure.
But I think what you're going to talk about. Go ahead.
Don't say it. So this is actually related to the first movie and not the second movie.
Ooh, I don't even know where you're going with this. This is like, okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is related to the first movie, dude. Do you know the first date that Mama and Tata went on was to fucking see Conan the Barbarian in theaters?
Oh my God. I feel like, oh my God. That's
amazing.
That is amazing.
Isn't that, did you know that I was going there?
I didn't know you were going there.
What did you write down?
This is different news. Let's talk about what we just said. That's pretty amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Pretty amazing.
I mean, that sets up, okay, so like, a part of the reason I want to talk about Schwartzy is because he was obviously like a huge inspiration to us growing up. We loved his movies. We loved the action. We loved we loved his charm. We loved everything about him. He was kind of like a Tata surrogate, you know, like a Eastern European man with an accent who was like our hero. Yeah, like a strong, responsible adult. I always felt like he was a dad, you know, like a dad type figure. But, you know, like growing up also like, now thinking about him in the context of like what it means to be a man and masculinity and like masculinity in relation to the world and the way the world is changing and all of that, I find all of that like philosophically like challenging and interesting. So I want to like meld that into the podcast as well. But to have it turn around that like we were like, before we were even a thought in an existence, before we were even like, you know, at all a potential of life.
Before we were the accidents that our parents had.
I was deliberate.
That's true too.
Our parents saw a Schwartzy movie in theaters together. Yeah. And Tata totally thought that Schwartzy wasn't going to be anything. Like, you know that his brother Kika told him, he was like, oh, like this guy's gonna be a fucking huge star, and he was like, "Her, really?
This guy? Yeah, totally. Him? But like, I mean, the reality is why would you think that?
I guess so.
Why would you?
I guess so. So speaking of Schwartzy and charm, how many Schwartzys did you give this?
I gave this 80 Schwartzys out of a potential 20 Schwartzys.
What? No, come on, do the real one.
I don't know, man. Like it's like for a Schwartzy movie, it's like cool to see certain things like certain things come into like fruition of like, oh, this is like a more modern, more like what this person would be like in a separate movie.
Yeah.
But like as a character, like it just felt like, man, you did so much work for the first Conan movie. So like if I were to give it like a real rating, it'd be like a 6 out of 10, 6 Schwartzys out of 10.
Okay, and what about for movie? Like, what would you just rate the movie?
Oh, that's what I mean. Like as
no, I always try and do the separate the separate ratings.
I would give it a 6 out of 10.
Just a general 6.
Yeah, just a general 6. It's like it's above average of like a movie. I enjoyed watching it, but like I can't separate. That's the thing. I can't separate like him as like a person. Like he's mostly him and Grace Jones were the big selling point for the movie. Plus the memories that I had of like the monster at the end.
Well, he gets to do some more acting chops. Like he does get to.
Well, he gets to talk more. He doesn't get to like true, act more. Well, he acts so much more.
Physicality. That's
not just physicality, man. He's like doing things. Like he's doing things with his face. He's doing things with his body.
You're right.
You know, that's like.
That's what I mean, physicality.
Yeah.
So I was a lot less forgiving of this movie. I give it 4 Schwartzys, and I give it 4 out of 10.
Oh man,
stars as well.
I'm deep in the nostalgia game, dude. Like I'm not gonna like let that like pull me back. I would totally give this. It's a memory thing. It's like whatever. I'm gonna be that hard on this movie.
Well, then, I mean, I guess. I can't change my mind. I can't change my mind here. I'm sticking to my 4.
Can I top this movie off with this bad movie with another little piece of news that might give you a little boner?
Sure.
The new Terminator got a title.
Okay.
I was gonna do this as a how did you guess?
How did you guess?
But this new title, or should I say new title?
Yeah, so it's just new metal.
This new metal title is called Terminator Dark Fate.
Okay, so like alternate reality?
I guess so. I mean, like it's leaning towards that, but if you're already going to put fate in the title, why not just go with No Fate or like something? I don't know. It's going to be fucking
Terminator No
bad.
Fate would have been bad. Or would have been good.
I think it would have been cool, yeah.
Terminator No Fate.
Because it makes reference to the actual movie as opposed to...
Oh, Bad Fate? Is that what it's called?
No, Dark Fate.
Dark, ooh, that's way worse.
It's so new metal, dude.
Oh, Dark is
so
the new metaliest title ever. Yeah. Next episode is fucking Terminator, dude. We're on Terminator.
I'm so excited. Finally.
I can't wait. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on Terminator.